Okay. Anyway, I think I'm live. Sorry about that. Wait, you guys. Appreciate you hanging out with me and I'm gonna tilt my camera a little bit that way y'all can see me. Sorry. I'm just trying to find it on my laptop so that I can make sure it's working. Okay. Awesome. Think we're good to go. So I'm gonna try. How does this sound? That's not too bad. Anyway, I'm just gonna film this video as a live and just kind of see if anybody wants to join in. But it's probably gonna end up being a long one. So I'm gonna sit here and work on some items that I got to get done and um, talk to you guys for a little bit. Maybe some people will join in. Um, I got a comment the other day on the channel, and he was just like, "Hey, this is fantastic. Great information." And so I can really appreciate that. And he threw out a couple of topics that I think were a pretty good idea. So we're gonna run through a couple of them, and it's probably gonna end up being like an hour-long video, but that's totally fine. The channel needs to start getting some longer videos on it anyway, so I don't really care too bad. Sorry, my voice is a little bit messy or scratchy or something. I'm fine, but I just am not feeling up to the best, the best feeling ever. So that you guys have to bear with me when it comes to that. So anyway, we're gonna talk about some interesting topics I think today. Um, if any of you guys come in the chat, shoot me a message or chat, and maybe you have a topic that you want to hear about or something. That'd be awesome. Um, I am watching it also on my computer so that I can make sure everything's still running smoothly, and I can read the chat if I have to. Excuse me. So what I want to do is I want to go into here and I want to read some of the I want to read some of the things that the fellow that commented wanted to hear about. Uh, I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think it was this one right here. Okay. Talk about the long-term satisfaction versus temporary pleasures. This is a good one. Um, so there's a lot of them working a side hustle. Since it seems bad at first until you start actually getting into it and getting paid and getting money, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I really would have this earlier. Going out and drinking at the club seems like fun until you realize you're wasting your time and money and energy, and the people at the club don't even care about you. These are things that this gentleman is working on in particular. Sacrificing now for a better tomorrow. Feeling young one time. You'll spend your adulthood scraping for money, planning well for the future. Maybe I can talk about some of these things and just get my hot take on them. So we're gonna try that. I really, really like it. I love the. He says you got to do live streams. So I'm on a live stream. Pretty sure the one viewer is myself right now because I have it pulled up on my computer, just to make sure everything is going right. So we'll start with the first topic. Okay, long-term satisfaction versus temporary pleasures. This is a fantastic. This is great. I really like this long-term satisfaction versus temporary pleasures. That's going to be great to talk about. What would be a long-term satisfaction versus a temporary pleasure? Okay. Temporary pleasure, we'll say, might be not going to college so that you can spend more time with like, friends and going out and going to bars and things like that. Long-term satisfaction would be going to college and getting a good degree and then making lots of money so that you don't have to worry about it whenever you are an adult. So like if you can if you can suffer for that little bit of time while you're in school, the long-term satisfaction is going to be you can get out of college, you can go have a good job, and then bump everything up from there, which is kind of you know that would be I think is something that could be considered to be long-term satisfaction. Um, Temporary pleasures probably could be also, well, we could talk like women. If you're out here temporary pleasures with having pleasures with like lots and lots of women, but it's only temporary and um it's not like long term, then there's obviously lots and lots of side effects that'll have on you as a man. So that's one thing. Versus long term satisfaction of staying and being with one woman for your guys' lives, that could be considered as well. Like a long term deal. So that's kind of where I'm at on those types of things. There's many more. I didn't look up anything or practice or study for this live, so it's really just kind of like a hot take, which is cool, right? So yeah, if any of you guys have anything, please feel free to pitch in with some ideas. But anyway, we'll move on to the next one. Working a side hustle seems bad at first until you invest the money and compound it. Okay, this I kind of agree and disagree with. Working a side hustle should not seem like a bad idea at first. If you find something that you're interested in, it should 100% seem. You should be maybe like a little bit nervous to do it, but it should not seem like a bad idea. I think that's the whole point of a side hustle is, hey, I think this is a good idea that I can make a little bit of extra money on, and I'm going to try it. And if it doesn't work out, I'm not out a whole lot, but it was worth a shot. So in my opinion, a side hustle should never seem like a bad idea ever. So that's kind of where I'm at with that whole thing. But he is right. Once you start that side hustle and it gets bumping and you're making money, yes, invest that money, put it in something that's not going to lose a bunch of money for you. That way, the money that you get, the extra that you get from your side hustle, can be it can be used to better to push your side hustle to more people and to make eventually make more money off of it. Right? That will be the goal. So that's a good side hustle, great idea. Do not start one that seems like a bad idea though, because if it already seems like a bad idea right from the very beginning, probably not going to be a good idea, overall to begin with. So that's that's my hot take and stuff on that. Sorry guys, I just got to do one thing on my iPad right quick. Um, so if you say, hey, I want to start selling, um, you know, I want to start drop shipping or whatever. Okay, I've heard a lot of people make a lot of money from that. Um, I just one second, guys. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay, I seen that I've seen a lot of people come in and be like, hey, I want to start drop shipping, and then they start the drop shipping process, and then it's like they don't know what products sell the best. They have to do all this research, and then they say they get on the internet that they sold $300,000 worth of. Yeah, they got $300,000, but they actually only got like 5,000 because people usually try and trick you and say, "Hey, I sold $500,000 worth of product," and the end result is that they don't get very much of that product. That's not very much. They don't get paid very much from that big chunk, right? I've done lots of research into it because I was thinking about doing it. But again, you can make money that way, but you just have to sell hundreds of thousands of dollars to even make a month's worth of income that you can live off of. So that's probably not the best side hustle. Seems like a good side hustle would be like traditional things like um, something that comes to my mind is like mowing lawns or let's see, a side hustle like starting a YouTube channel. That's a business. Invest in yourself. Learn how to communicate on video. Um, eventually, you can probably make decent money on it. So something like that, like starting an Instagram page that you're gonna try and make money off of, or um, working like a weekend job, like helping out on a ranch or doing something like that is another good, like something like that, like something where you're not gonna need that money. You can just take it and put it in an account where, hey, I'm gonna invest this, or it's gonna make, put it in a Roth or something. Put it in something where you can invest the amount of money that you're gonna make, and then it's not gonna lose anything over the years. And then as your side hustle becomes your full time job, say you start a YouTube channel this year, you get 1,000 subscribers and, excuse me, 4,000 watch time hours. That doesn't mean you're automatically in the money. You got to get up to 50,000 subscriber range before you're going to start making any money, probably. So again, I think that that is something to consider. Do not start a side hustle unless you think it's one that can make money. That's why I do this YouTube channel mostly because I just enjoy getting on here and throwing my opinions around on the world and stuff like that. So yeah, there's my opinion on that. Going out drinking at the club seems fun until you realize you're wasting your time, money, and energy, and the people at the club don't even care about you. This is really good from the guy that put this on here. I really like I really like his take on that. So um going out drinking at the club. So first off, I would just probably recommend that you don't even go. Um I know this kind of sounds buzzkill-ish, but as a man, we have to be, um, as a man, you really need to be in your brain all the time, and you need to be able to, I'm trying to know what the word is. You have to be 100% cognitive all the time. Um, people are going to try and screw you over all the time. I mean, they're constantly going to be getting after you for, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you do this for me? Hey, this woman's gonna try and take advantage of this, that, and the other. So whenever you're going out to the club and you're drinking over the weekend, and then you've got, um, then you've got the hangover and everything for the time after that. Okay, am I 100% cognitive at that point? Am I ready to take on the world the next day? And whenever I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, am I ready for that? Am I even gonna get up at 4 o'clock in the morning? No, you are not gonna get up at 4 o'clock in the morning whenever you drank all night before, went to a club, slept with some woman, and she came home with you, or you went home with her. You have no idea where you're at in the morning. How is that a good idea? Please comment. I don't think that's a good idea. So, I would just recommend don't go out to the club. Don't consume as little alcohol as you can. If you can stop, congratulations, that'd be great. If you can't, I mean, just don't get wasted every single day, I guess. Try and I don't know. Just don't get. I don't think going out to the club is a very sleeping with a million women is not very. It's not very alpha or sigma male like. It's not gonna get you to the place of having 50,000 subs on YouTube that you don't have to work a regular job anymore. It's not gonna get you to that CEO level. You're gonna have to outwork everybody in the room, and you can't do that whenever you're waking up at 6 o'clock because I've already been awake for 2 hours getting after it. I've already got 2 hours on the day of you. Oh, well, I can stay up later. No, you don't want to stay up later because you're gonna have a headache all day and you're gonna be tired as crap. So that's not a good idea. And the people don't even care about you. I love that he included that in the comment here on my video because 100% the people do not care about you at the club. The women there are just looking for just a cheap fix of a guy that is wasted and he has no idea where he's at, and that he's going to be able to, take them home He's gonna sleep with them, and then they're gonna go to the next guy the next day, and they're gonna do that every single weekend or every day or whatever. So, and the guys, they don't care. They're just there doing the same thing. So, no, the club is not a good idea. Terrible. Alcohol is also a bad idea. That's for a separate video. It's these things that I'm working on, he says. Good for you, brother. I'm glad that you're working on it. I hope the channel has helped you in some way. I'm gonna keep on talking about the subject I am talking about, and I'm probably gonna make individual videos for each one of these. So, you guys be sure to watch that. Sacrificing now for a better tomorrow. This again kind of goes back to long-term satisfaction versus temporary pleasures. Um, let's see. Okay, what was it again? I'm sacrificing now for a better tomorrow. So you're saying I think what this is kind of talking about is we're gonna use a work situation. Um, so you're saying, excuse me. So you're saying like, if I work my butt off in my 20s and 30s, then I will have a better future, right? So I sacrifice my 20s and 30s, but I'll have a better 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, if 90s if I live that long, right? Which is very true. And so in that case, you do have to weigh that into your alpha plan. However, I will also tell you from personal experience, working for someone that takes advantage of you, that you're not making a good amount of money, and that you hate is far worse than finding a good job later in life, working at it very hard till you're 50, work from your 30 to 50 mark, and then retire from there, right? So that you just have to, if you find a job where, hey, you're 21 and let's just say you go get your finance degree, you're 21, you go out into the world, you find a fantastic employer, you start making 60K a year on your first, out of high school or out of college, I'm sorry, so you're probably 22 or 23. That's fantastic. I'm really, really happy for you if that's the case. But I do not think, let's just look at the statistics. How many people hate their job? More than half of U.S. workers are unhappy in their job, while 85% of people hate their job. 50% of people hate their job. Why so many 100 million full-time, 51% aren't engaged in work? Okay, half of the entire American population, which is probably around 150 million. Let's look. Okay, 329 million is the total. So, 160 million people. 165 million people. Okay. Absolutely hate their job and would trade it for anything. But those people are also so far into debt, they cannot get away from it. They have to have that 60, 70, $80,000 a year job. Probably most of them aren't even that much. Probably more like 40, because they've got a brand new house and a brand new car payment that totals 2 grand a month. They've got 3 kids to feed, which the bills on the food is probably about 500 a month. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? And they're in far credit card debt that they're never going to get out of. They got student loans because, hey, I'm going to go do this thing, and it never worked out. Okay, so they hate their job, but they're also spending $2,000 in debt and then food, and not even to mention whenever taxes come around, they can't even pay it. Okay, so you guys would need to be a little bit more wary of what we do, because right now I'm 20 years old. I paid cash for my car. I'm still living at home. I have a job that doesn't pay a ton, but I really, really like it. I can work full-time hours and I mean, it's totally fine. I love it. And I can pay for, phone and insurance and stuff like that. Okay. So a lot of 20-year-olds would probably be in my situation because I graduate this May, with a bachelor's degree. There probably a lot of them would be, hey, are you gonna go get a big time big wig job making 60,000. I can go get a job working at Edward Jones, $60,000 a year, and I'm 20. That's pretty good money for being 20 years old. Okay, I'm not gonna do that though because I would hate that job because I've worked at a place like that before, and it was not. I hated it. So what I think what I'm gonna do is instead of going off and finding some retarded job that makes this amount, the other, whatever, I'm gonna work a job that I really like right now as a ground level employee at a gym. I'm gonna get bumped up over the next 10 years to where hopefully someday I own my own of this franchise, right? That would be the end goal. Making good money. I'm 30 years old. I have no debt. I have no student debt. I have no car debt. I have no house payment, right? These are all things that the reason people hate their jobs is because we're not meant to just sit around and be like guinea pigs, right? Um, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would change out probably for my, um, what my situation kind of is. So, and I'm not trying to brag, but I'm just saying, lots of people would love to be 20 years old with no debt and a bachelor's degree with the option to absolutely work at a job they freaking love, where they can bump up and be manager and then be general manager and then be regional director and then maybe own their own of whatever company they want to work for. Right? Like that's who wouldn't want to do that. So my thing is yes, sacrifice to a certain extent, but not to so far to where you're gonna wake up whenever you're 45 years old and be like, I really wish I would have trained more jujitsu. I really wished I would have been able to have more time with my family. I really wished I would have had more time to work out. I really wish I would have had more time to go across, to Europe or Asia. I really wish I had more time to go vacation like 5 times a year because I had no bills and I could afford it. I really wish I could afford to get in my car that I bought to my favorite car and just drive, but you can't because you have to be in there Monday through Friday every single day 8 to 5 with an hour in between where you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs all day trying to tell people and kiss their butt because, oh, I need the butt. Trying to tell your clients that everything's going to be okay. No, don't do that. Why would you do that? That sounds like a terrible idea. Now, some people, I understand, obviously, let's look up average income, average household income, 30 something. Oh, look at here. Really? 80,000. Nice. See, it's different in states. Let's look up Missouri. Let's look up do Texas. Okay, 60 something thousand. Okay, so that's 1,000 a week roughly. 15, 12, 1,100 a week or something like that. So lots of people hate their jobs. They're running out on their budget because they have too many bills and they're not willing to not drive a nice car. They're not willing to be that soccer mom with the Tahoe. You know, those are things that you have to consider. So we're gonna leave that. Not even gonna spend too long, but we're gonna leave that where it's at. Yeah, sacrifice right now for a little bit, but also you're never gonna be 25 again. So just make sure you throw that into your equation. You're only young once, so you need to use it up. Use it to set up your future, otherwise you'll spend your dough. Okay, that's true. I think that what you need to do in your 20s though is make yourself marketable, make yourself valuable, and then in your 30s really hammer into that. So go to school, get a bachelor's degree, get a master's degree, get a job where you can get really good experience, and then whenever you're 30 and you settle down, you're married and you got kids, you can go get that corporate job, go bumping up. So I get it, right? Your 20s, you gotta work in your 20s obviously to set it up, but there's things other than money that can set you up to be a highly marketable person. So we'll leave that at that. I know this was a long answer, but maybe you can talk about some of these things. I feel many young people don't understand the concept of sacrificing something now for a greater tomorrow. That's true. I think I would agree with you, actually. Um, is that people nowadays, especially, really um They don't want to wait. Excuse me. They don't want to wait for anything. It's like that one study they did where like they give one kid a marshmallow. It said, "Hey, you can eat it, but if you wait 10 minutes, I'll give you two." Some of them would do it, and some would eat it right then, and some of them would wait. Right. So, um, I think that that's really patience, my friend. It's something that we all need to work on. However, you have to have patience to get through your 20s and make yourself valuable and marketable. You have to have patience to work at a job where you're not making anything, and you have to have patience because you can't go buy the new shoes that you want to buy and get all dripped out. You have to have patience because you can't buy the Mustang that you want to buy. Now, I was able to because I worked several different jobs for a long time. I was a real estate agent. That's how I afforded that car. So being patient is just important, but you also really need to make sure that don't sacrifice too much. Like don't work yourself so far to death that you're not going to be able to enjoy your 20s. I can't really stress that enough. I'm 20 something years. You really need to make sure that you have that's you're only going to be 21 times. You're only going to be 21, 22, 23, 24, and so on and so forth. You're only going to be those numbers one time. And whenever you get to be about 45, you're going to be like, wow, I really, really wished I would have, you know, worked a little bit less in my 20s, sacrificed a little bit less, and, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. So, uh, too many young people don't understand the concept of sacrificing something now for a greater tomorrow. That's probably true. If you really sit around and think about it, like lots of people don't understand the importance of college. And I think that's just because they don't understand that whenever your side hustle might not pan out and you go off to San Diego and you're like, hey, I just want to chill out on the beach and relax, right? You got to have something. You got to have like a backup for whoever, like whatever job doesn't pan out. Like if my job right now where I'm working at doesn't pan out and I never get bumped up and I don't ever make any more money, then I'm going to be falling on that bachelor's degree to get me out of that tight spot. So sacrificing a little bit now, like 5 years or 4 years of time in a college, is probably like a very small price to pay when it comes to the end goal. Because whenever I'm 30 something years old, I'll be able to. If I'm 30 and I'm not where I want to be already, I can just jump out and um, start working for a big corporation doing finance for somebody or managing something big and get myself out of that little pickle, right? So, yeah, again, it's just important to kind of measure out. Everybody's different. I was going to get out of high school and college and go immediately into full time work. And I tried working for a place that I would have been comfortable, I would have been comfortable working at full time, and it was absolutely terrible. So it, it just kind of, your opinion changes and things like that change over the long run. So, anyway, I really appreciate this guy's comment here. Again, Akshay Babu or something like that. You guys can see it under my video. We need to accept and embrace change. That video didn't really do as I thought it was gonna be. However, I did get Mr. Akshay on here to comment several times, and I asked him if he needed, what specifically um, he would like me to talk about. So he just said tackle real life, um, hard to talk about subjects because they are hard. Things I guess like putting a pornography addiction. Again, the subjects we talked about today. So this is the longest video I've ever made. Hopefully you guys can watch it later. I noticed that there was a couple people that joined in, but not near as many as I would hope for me having almost 2,000 subscribers. So that's okay though. Anyway, I'm gonna probably make a separate video for each one of these topics here pretty quick. So you guys be sure to jump on them, leave them some likes, go comment on the videos of what you guys can use some help with, and that would be fantastic. So thank you guys so much.